tell you one thing, it's very easy. Do you have it? It is very easy. When you throw a dart, if you don't know how to hit the target, it makes throwing the dart difficult, uninteresting. But once you target that hole where you're supposed to hit the dart, throwing that for you will become a very easy buy. Do you agree? Now, you need to understand what you really need to make money. You could be a zoologist, you could be an accountant, you could be anything, yet you're very poor. Do you agree?
Yes.
And it could just be one thing that people really don't pay attention to, but you know how to use it. He said something, that's a niche for you. So I need you to hold on to it and start thinking. Start thinking. Start thinking. I studied economics. I wanted to be a chemical engineer. And then I lost my admission when I was studying chemical engineering in Unilag. And then I was faffing around. I didn't know what to do with my life. I couldn't even go home. Why? Because everybody thought Yemisi was in university, studying this, studying that, and he was already out of school. Then after 2 years, my sister-in-law called and she said, Uncle Yemi, what are you doing with your life? You only need a first degree so that you can be qualified to make money, to be acceptable within the labor market. When you get to the labor market, you discover yourself in the course of your day-to-day activities and you'll be able to position yourself. So the first degree or the course that you actually study is not a function of the money you're going to make. I have slides here, but I tell you, I like extemporaneous speeches or discussions.
Which English now?
Something you didn't write down, just comes. So I can take us a little bit out of this extemporaneous. And that was Barack Obama style. And that's the reason why you hardly ever read the script. It comes from. So interacting with us right now, I'm inspired to go out of my slides. Is that okay?
Okay.
Now, I said, what would I do in my life? I was vulnerable. I wanted to get out of that race. I wanted to get back on track. Even though I couldn't go back to Unilag, she said, you know what, do a part-time program in Osu. Now, Olabisi on the University said, no, from Unilag to Osu. Who does that? Alright, because I was vulnerable, I had to. So I went to their school of distance learning and all that to look at the courses. There was nothing in engineering for part-time. I said, damn. So you can't continue your future again in the line of engineering. I said, okay, don't worry. Just choose a course. All you need is the first degree. So I said, okay, let me look at social sciences. The only interesting course there to me was economics. In my secondary school, I didn't do economics. But for GC, I just experimented with economics and I had a C5. So which means there is nothing you do that God is not aware of. It might be unconscious, but I tell you one thing, everything is in His foreknowledge. So everywhere, as you are right now, having a passion for storytelling, writing, poetry, and all that, it is not an accident. All you need to do is sit down, calm down, discover what is in it for me, what do you want for me. So I chose economics. I wrote economics in my GC without planning to write economics, right? And then it played out that I studied economics. But what am I practicing right now? Is economics. I'm doing a whole lot of things. So, how was I able to get all of those things? Somebody through relationship told me something. I keyed into it. Why? Because there's trust. So, I came here today because I have a relationship with Olulu. And then he recommended me for this program because he trusts me. And I came here because I trust him. I don't know if something is happening right here. So we started selling, doing things, sending proposals, doing cold calls. Do you know cold calls?
Yes.
right? But those era has gone. But rather, they have gone. We're in a different era. And the new era is the era of relationship building. And you cannot build that relationship without trust. The trust is not a function of how many years we've known each other. Olulu and I have been friends for over 40 years, but guess what? We reunited back last year. After over 35 years, or no, about 25 years or more. So it's not a function of the number of years that we've known each other. It's a function of trust. The lady said something, I referred someone. Unfortunately, he underpriced himself. Why? She referred the person because she trusted in the person's abilities to deliver. But the person had no confidence in himself. Whose fault? His. So he must have learned. But what it simply means is that based on that relationship with the guy and the recommendation through trust, he could have even made more than the 100K. It's up to him. Now, she said she doesn't do proposals. I agree with that. Proposal is as good as cold calling. But a referral can change the dynamics. A single referral can change the dynamics. So we need to start positioning ourselves and going back to our archives to dig out all the key contacts that we know that we have and reunite, solidify our relationship with them. Know what they're doing, let them know what you're doing. Because when they know what you're doing, guess what? They have in mind. Once they believe in what you're doing, one day you just get a call, it's a phone call, and to change the game. And once this relationship that has birthed trust comes in line, and you are recommended for anything, and then you deliver on that thing, that is the first step. Because that thing will start giving birth to other opportunities, and then you become a known brand. And when you become a known brand, and you're seeing the returns in Naira and Kobo, you are more motivated to innovate. You study poetry, speaking English, and then you change the dynamics of the game to poetry, French, pidgin. Why French pidgin? The French people have the locals, and they have the bourgeois. The bourgeois, they speak English, pure English. Same thing in Canada, they have Canadian French, which some local have their local dialect, right? And then the bourgeois, you can't, a typical American will tell you, a typical local American will tell you, oh, was you there? Instead of, were you there? That's the difference. Now, if you're in the midst of these local people and you want to communicate with them in their local language, you fit in. Now, they are not even English, they are French, because you studied French, that's a niche. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Olulu. Okay, sorry. I wanted to send you on an errand, I forgot that you had it. Look at this. I'm reaching out, but leads aren't reaching back. This is my approach. You write proposal, they don't get back. You go through your emails, or rather email listing or whatever. You send emails, they don't get back. You go to phone directory, email directory. You go to, what's the name of this website? That when you go there, it shows you the details of different companies that you can reach out to. There's one website there. As a marketing person, you go there, start sending mails. They don't get back. Why? They used to work, but they no longer work. Because the same people who are sending me these proposals, I don't know them, but I know you. I know you, I know what you do, so why would I want to go with those people? So that has reduced my chances. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure, or I'm not a professional, or I don't know how to deliver. But the approach. What's your approach? Back in the days, comedy was a joke. I didn't want my child, I would never have wanted my child to be a comedian back in the days. I am sure the likes of Odebani will be saying that I wish I was just born in this era so that I can play football. So what is our approach? Are we going back to the Asian style? What are we doing that is not right? What are we doing that is not in sync with the present generation strategy? through your relationship, you get all this. You'll get it. Some might even tell you, don't, all that formality, I know you, don't send me any proposal, don't send me any whatever. Just give me the quote. Because they trust you, they know you. I'm the head of corporate communications, Zenith Bank, and we want to have an event. And guess what? Because I have Olulu as my friend right now. We've been using Alibaba, we've been using TA, we've been bringing whiskey and the rest of them. Then I said, I want to change the dynamics because I know him. I want spoken word poetry to be on it. That's relationship. It's not because I'm a fan, but now I'm becoming a fan because I trust him. How come I trust him? We have a relationship. And when he sold the idea to me, I believe. So because of that relationship, I have a budget of 2 billion naira for this concert because it's in December, blah, 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 blah. And then 500 million is for the entertainers. Then because it is Olulu, I'll give him 10% or 20%. Then he brings other spoken word artists to perform. That's his relationship. And then my manager will ask me, why are you bringing spoken word? And I'll ask them, have you ever tried anything new? We want innovation. Innovation is still doing the same thing, but doing it new, or in a different way. Let's try this. The budget is there already, by the way. It's 500 million. I'm not asking for a supplementary budget. That's relationship. Are we thinking? Are we? Now, the rise of relationship selling, it's been quick but radical. The nature of the sales game has changed, like I said, profoundly. Why? Gone are the days in which cold calls, emails could be relied upon to get you connections. You know why? Because when you send those emails, they are waiting for you to send those emails to make a decision. But now they know. Now they have people around them who would rather give them those things, right? Without waiting for any proposal to get to them. Don't wait for me to be told or to be exposed to the business of poetry. Don't. Don't wait for me to ask you. Bring it on to me. Tell me about it. What do you discuss with your network? Who are your network? What's your network? That's your net worth. As we are having this conversation now, if I have any job that has to do with an event, we've been talking about it, we would slot in poetry. We would slot in poetry. Let's tweak it. Let's do something new. And that's the reason why today comedians are making so much money. They all started as a joke. Entertainment business, the music business, everybody thought they were for dropouts. The rest, riffraffs, Malians. These guys are cashing out big time. And they all started with relationship. They are getting brand endorsement. Ah, beautiful one. The Heritage Bank, spoken word or poetry, whatever. I fell in love with it the first time I heard it. And I was talking to him about it. How many more of that do we have? So the gap is still very wide. Start thinking. We have different sectors. That's just the banking sector. And that's just one or two banks. We have so many banks. I'm sure you have a banker friend, banker uncle or whatever. These are the networks that we need to go have a serious discussion with. What departments do we need to talk to? Who is the person that who is the person we need to speak to? Alright? If we don't do this, it will still be the same game. And we need to be a game changer. There's so much money right out there. They shouldn't be having festivals of this comedy, blah, 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 blah. And we should not even have one poet. We have to change the game. Find out who the organizers of those shows are. Find out the person that knows that will get you to the man. I'm going to give you one acronym today. Man. And I'm going to break it down. Money, authority, and need. Did I speak to you about man? I didn't plan to talk about man, but I'll talk about man now.
About what?
Well, I'll leave that for you because you are a spoken word guru. Man is an acronym. Money, authority, and need. In every relationship, in every transaction, if you are not speaking to the man, you're going nowhere. What do you mean by the man? The person that has the money, Adenuga. The person that has the authority, Adenuga. The person that has a need, perhaps not Adenuga. How about that? You have a billboard. Adenuga has the money to buy the billboard, doesn't he? He has the authority to sign it, doesn't he? But does he have a need for the billboard as Adenuga? Is he going to put himself on the billboard? No way. So go to Adenuga and sell it to him. I don't need a billboard. That's what he'll tell you. Okay. I know something. I'm not going to sell it to Adenuga. I'll sell it to Global, which is his brand. So I go to Adenuga and tell him, sir, I want to sell this billboard to you, but not for you, for your brand, Glow, everywhere. How does that work? You need to create awareness. Everywhere that you have your base station, that you have your coverage, people need to know. So they stop patronizing the foreigners, the Indians, Airtel, the South Africans, the MTN, the UAEs, the Etisalat, 99 mobile. This is an indigenous thing, so we need to promote your brand, sir. So what do I need? We just need the areas of your coverage. We'll map out billboards for those areas, blah, blah, blah. We'll give you the costing. We'll give you, blah, blah, blah. The guy will be excited about it. You know what? He has the money. He has the authority. His brand has a need for that thing. But if you go to him and you sell it to him to put him on that billboard because you want him to, he will say, this is madness.
I have a real life case if I can share.
Please do.
Okay, there's this couple that I met sometime last year, and I got talking to, I met the MD, the woman, so she took me to go and meet our husband, the chairman. So he said when Glow started, that he knew I think the brother-in-law of Adenuga. So he told that he needs to get the dealership. So that one got the dealership. So like after 3 months, they were like a bad drinking. That one now said that out of all his friends, he wasn't close to this particular one, but out of all his friends, he's the only one that since Glow came out, that's gotten dealership that all the other guys are just drinking. No problem. So he started programming brother-in-law that he wanted to meet Adenuga. I said, it's not that easy, but we'll work on it. So, of course, since he was working on it, he came up with ideas, wrote everything down, packaged everything and all that. So now called him like 2 weeks later, like, yeah, let's go. He called him like 11 p.m. Let's go. They went to, I think, a hotel, not shop. And so, by the time they got it, I think I was having a meeting. So he said, there's food, there's drink, enjoy yourself, we'll talk when I finish, and meet them. He didn't finish that meeting until like 2 a.m. So he called them at 2 a.m. and said, what do you have for me? So he started listing all the ideas, listing everything. He said, I have somebody work on that one already. That one, we've done that one already. Now, so he ran out of all his ideas. He now made one that he wrote on a sheet of paper. As in, afterthoughts. He's not saying, okay, I have one, sir, that can make it more popular than MTN. I said, let's hear it. That was how they came about the paint. Where everybody started painting their building green. That was where it came out from. That okay, we get dealership, make sure everybody started painting and all that and that. Nobody else was doing it. Everywhere people go, they'll see the paint. That's very interesting. I like that. Okay, no problem. I'll get back to you. So he went back to these guys, that's at the end now. Spoke to them and all that. They analyzed it and they agreed with it. When he was going, he wrote something. Money, huge back. I know that money, or next day or whatever, go and now that. It was not small money. It was 8 figures.
Did you get that?
What? 8 figures. So I was just trying to bring it out that the key word was I can make it more popular than MTN, which is creating a need. Because every other idea that I came up with, he had it. But that one, okay, because MTN was already in operation then, so just to buttress what you were saying.
Thank you, Olulu. Did you get that?
So this can go on the video, I will need to edit it out.
Now I'm going to tell you one thing. It started with a relationship. The guy knew Adenuga's in-law. The in-law trusted him enough to introduce him to an in-law. So you already have the content. And that content is what I trust. How was I able to know that you have the content? Based on our relationship, you share the content with me, right? And based on that, I was able to position you for that opportunity. And when he positioned him for that opportunity, he delivered the content to the man. To the guy that has the money, that has the authority, and that has a need for that content. You have the content on sex, child abuse, and you're sharing it with an organization that is into something else. You ain't gonna get it. Or you have content and you're taking it to someone who doesn't have the money. He has the authority. He has a need. You're gonna go anywhere because he doesn't have the money. Or you have the content and you take it to someone who doesn't have the money, who has money, who doesn't have the authority, but he has a need. He's a roller coaster because he cannot approve it. So you need to be strategic in everything you do. Position yourself, know who you want to deal with, and know how you go with them. But everything starts with relationship. Anything that is not born out of relationship, that you're not doing out of relationship, trust me, you might waste your time. You might waste your time. I'll give you a very practical example. All the things that I'm saying, I've covered almost all my slides. I will just for formality's sake. So I want us to be practical. I want us to be very, very real here. I told Olulu about the Olympics 2020 project. Well, we have an idea for Olympics 2020 in Tokyo. And then the person that came up with the idea to me came up because of my knowledge of advertising and relationship with brands, advertisers who could be our potential sponsors, right? When she came and she shared it with me, I felt like this is big, this is huge. I probably need more people in the industry who have relationship with other brands so that we have more brands. All right? And I said, okay, what else do we need? She said we need to get letter of accreditation from Nigerian Olympic Committee, NOC. I said, okay. I know somebody who has worked as a business development person in an agency, and she was in charge of public relations, not the private sector, public sector. So let me bring her in. She must know someone within the public sector that knows someone that will take her to NOC. So let's bring the person. Making four, right? All right. I don't want to use my own company because I do a lot of things. I want to use a specialist because this is media. I'm going to bring someone that I know that if the money gets into his account, he will not run away with it. So we have to bring it, make it 5, right? Think about that relationship. I put 4 or 5 people, right? No, 4 people already. 3 people plus me. We now went to NOC. The person that I know, Neil, were just disengaged in December. They now have a new committee for the entire NOC. So that person cannot influence anything. Then one of my friends on that team knows one of the outgoing vice president, and said, let us go and meet the guy. When we got to the guy said, yeah, it's doable, but I'll need money to talk to the experts. We don't have money to spend not because we don't have the money, but we don't want to start spending on uncertainty. So we sat down, we're like, okay, let us go and look for somebody that knows somebody that will not make us pay money. Even if we are going to pay, let us pay from whatever the sponsors who have eventually bought into the project are paying. Born now. And I'm talking about weeks going in and out. Now, I have a friend who I met through a friend that's now become so close. So we're talking about, she came back from the US after 14 years. She just packed her things and said she was coming back to Nigeria. So one day to that. And she said, I'm tired of the US. I'm tired of the Western world. If I'm going to go anywhere, I'm going to Asia. Wow. Really? What's the interest? Most of our friends in the university were Japanese. And she's been planning to go to Japan this year. Wow. I have a project that we're looking at and that might eventually take us to Japan this year. Oh, really? What's that about? I gave a synopsis of the whole thing. Really? Have you gotten the NOC out? No. My dad was the director of sports for Federal Ministry of Sports. All the Olympics, my dad was one of the people that set up the NOC committee from in the early 90s to 2006 that he retired. Then he called my dad, Hausa, and he called his dad, and dad said, okay, don't worry, I'll call the president of NOC. And he called the president of NOC, and the man said we should come to Lagos, to Abuja next week. Only for the man again to call on Tuesday and told my friend's dad. So immediately she told me about that thing, I called my team. I said, we have another person we're bringing on board. Now you need to be selfless, you need to be strategic. Selfless is, I could tell the person, just give me not giving the person a stake in it. You won't get the best out of it. Relationship. The person will feel you won't use him or her. So we're bringing that person on board. How far, guys? Everybody said, the more the merrier. We're all fine. Now, because she's a stakeholder, she went all out, right? The father didn't ask her, who are these people? Why? Because the father obviously knew the child and trusted her enough. And so he didn't want to question her judgment. But the man was just doing anything. He called the man. Guess what? The current president is a senator in Jigawa State, or ex-senator in Jigawa State. Guess what happened? The man called back on Tuesday and told her dad that he will be in because they want to do inauguration for the new NOC committee at Stadium, NOC office, that we should meet him there rather than coming to Abuja. Already, I was talking about, okay, we're going to go to Abuja, every man for himself, or would somebody have to take care of everybody's bill? I've been thinking. But at least I would have dropped my return ticket. And if I don't get to come back that same day, I would have to pay for feeding, pay for accommodation, right? Whilst thinking about that, I told my friends, the team again, these people that want to collect money from us in Lagos, how much are they asking for, by the way? Let's know how much they're asking for, because if what they're asking for is equivalent to the amount of money that we'll spend on going to Abuja, we might as well just give them the money in Lagos, right? We're thinking, and then the man said, let them meet me at the office in Lagos. Relationship. When we got there on Wednesday morning with our letter of intent, with our proposal, the man that we also wanted to meet when we realized that the previous committee had been disbanded, who is the Secretary General, right, reports to this president. So when we got there, he just called us, Oladipo. The Secretary General was with him, the PRO was with him. He said, these are my children. I want you to look into their proposal, give them everything they want. The man looked at it. He said, wow, this is late. This is media, it is late. We complained on media in 2018, November. And the president said, who concluded it? They said the past administration. The past administration. So they were proactive enough to lock 2020 Olympics down in their plan and gotten approval. He said, okay, the last Olympics, how many slots did you get? He said 15. How many slots do we have now? They said 10. He said, let me see the slots. Look at the least relevant, remove them and put my children there. The PRO was shaking. He said, you know what, maybe you don't even understand the relationship I have with them here. And maybe you don't understand what they want you to do. Let us finish the inaugural whatever. Do you guys have enough time so we can finish? We die here. So we said, yes, Daddy. We got there at 10 a.m.
Yes, Daddy.
Yes, and then we went upstairs, we sat down. Meanwhile, all the ex-school members, they came. The one in charge of badminton, the one in charge of basketball, all the chairman and they all report to the president. So after the whole thing, they all left. We come to 3 o'clock, we're there, no food. The man called the secretary that he should give us food. We went to bring food. You know what it means to be in the ministry and they're offering you food? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So at that point, I told my friend, I said, you know what? I don't even feel like living here again. I feel at home. After the meeting, he said for us, when we got into the office, the chairman, media committee, he told him to wait behind. I said, these are my children. These other guys, they have collected money and issued out all the slots. I know this is what they do. But I don't care how they're going to do it. I'm giving them two options. One, to remove one person and put my children there. These other people are not ready to NOC. Once they get whatever they want from NOC, that's it, they go. These are my children. I will know that I did this for family. If they cannot remove one person, or rather, if they don't want me to remove one person, they should go and ask for supplementary slots. So I've given them 1 week to go and think about it. You have my numbers. I told you that to give you all my numbers. I'll be in Tokyo next month. But please, stay in touch. Anything you need, let me know. Whatever you want to do with your sponsors, start going ahead. You are covered. Where am I going? We were thinking about how much money are we going to give these guys to rub their palms, right? That was knocked out. We were sitting with the man who had the money, who had the authority, who had the need. And we didn't even look at our proposal, our letter. So forget what you know. Forget what you can do. Without a relationship, you get nada. If I have a show tomorrow, and I'm doing the show at Alliance de Francais, and I need a poet who understands French, who can speak, who can communicate in French, you already have that niche. I'm meeting you today for the first time. How do you want to stay relevant? Relationship. Cold calls can help you, but out of 100%, perhaps 0.1% now, because the game has changed. And we have to change with the game. So, gone are the days, blah, blah, blah. Today's landscape is one thing, trust. And not doing the kind of trust that is built over years of working together, nah. But up front, just starting out, trust. And the way to get that trust going is through relationship. Are we good? Sorry, I'm a salesman. So if you want to go back to bullet points, we say identify the right leads. I already told you. If you don't identify the right leads, you will sell something tangible to someone who has no clue about it, and they turn it down because they don't have a clue. Now, how were we able to identify that we needed a Secretary General? We went online, we did our research and all that. Some people will go to their CRM, that's a customer relationship management database. They'll go to LinkedIn. You just go all out. The resources are there. Now, by the time you find out this name, you call the people that you know that have one influence or the other. Please, I need to do this. Do you know this person? I need someone. You will get there. It's a cycle. It's a circle, rather. So you get there. All you need to do is use your relationship, use your network till you get to the right person. Why? Because you have a content that they need to buy into. You have a product that they need to buy into. You have something that they need. They're probably looking for you. They're probably doing it with somebody who is not as good as you are.